Hello everyone, welcome into another episode of Last Protagonist Plays Diablo 2, now on Nightmare mode. So on yesterday's stream we defeated Nightmare Diablo himself. Now we will be focusing on trying to beat Nightmare Baal again. Well, not again. Baal again, but this time the Nightmare version. So anyway, welcome on in. Looks like we have Blue and Mendacious Cat early. Oh, the Silk Song price just got revealed, 20 bucks. Okay, that is quite reasonable. I was expecting anywhere from like 20 to 40 and thinking 25 would probably be a really good spot for it. So 20 is quite nice news. Thanks for letting me know, Mendacious. And then how are you guys doing tonight? And Meow Laser, welcome on in. So sorry, the dog is trying to fight the dinosaur blanket again. He's a little bit of a feisty guy. Alright. Just trying to fix things on Twitch over here. There we go. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was waiting to get... Oh yeah. So at the end of yesterday's stream, I went ahead and got the Ice Aura Mercenary. I need to get better armor for him because he got one shot by one of the bosses. Level my 58. Okay. So he's still on par with my level, which is good to know. And we beat the first parts of Act 5 after clearing Act 4. So next we need to go into the Crystal Cave, essentially, and proceed from there. Alright, so I have potions and whatnot. I was playing Path of Exile 2 earlier today, and I already feel confused at how to play this one again. Jared Stone? So it's 4 sorceresses. Okay. Damn, he died already. Okay. Granted, we did have a bunch of random crap on the screen. Just sucks when they get super clapped super quickly. Well, I probably may as well pick up all of this stuff to sell it if I'm gonna go back to town in a moment anyway. Damn, another rare. Uh-oh. Ah! That's too slow. I was not expecting that. Oh boy, they hit hard? Yeah. As soon as I saw that my aura fell after one hit, I was like, interesting. The girl whose name's meme I don't remember. The one that was in iCarly? Miranda something? Oh man. Alright. Oh yeah, I don't have a dodge roll. Oh god. Miranda Cosgrove. Okay.
What is it?
Yeah, for some reason I'm like Miranda Kerr, Miranda Kemp. I don't think either of these are correct. Did I lose my body? I don't know if I picked it up. I was spamming X. Because if I lost everything, that would kind of suck. Right, I'm not sprinting because I'm so slow. Hey, Red Moon, how's it going? More G2 Act 5 now? Nightmare difficulty? Yes. I just died twice, so that puts me up to 7 or 8 deaths. Oh, God. Why am I not healing? Because I don't have any? Oh, because I was holding L2. Whew. All right, well, my guy did just enough work to keep me alive, so I'm not too upset about that. Holy. Literally got backed into a wall and just tried to dodge roll my way out of this crap. Oh, God. Not bad for the first time. Just wait for hell difficulty. The deaths will come. Trying to make it there.
I can't carry anymore. I can't carry anymore.
Hey, Randy. Welcome back in. All res is everything in hell. I think all of my resistances are... Okay. Around 70, which isn't too bad. I want to make that higher, obviously, but... I've not found even more fabulous boots yet. What are you talking about? How could you possibly get anything more fabulous than this purple pair of boots? It would be folly if you did.
Good day.
How much money do I even have anymore?
Good afternoon.
Oh, I just spent like 50k reviving our dude to get clapped immediately. Our dude of insta-death. So what is this? Hey, alright. It's like a free res for him right there. Man, we're gonna have to start combining things soon again. Okay, that is empty. It can be shiny and holographic. I don't know if that's a thing in this game, unless it's like a unique item. So what is his defense at? 979, and he's just getting deleted. Okay. And he's good against the missiles, relatively speaking. I just need more slotted gear to drop. I think after I clear Nightmare, I'm definitely going to go, wanting to go and do the cow level again to get some of the better base items. So I'll need to go back and pick up the legs. Who would have known there's so much fire damage here?
need mana.
Yeah, if we ever get a 4-socket polearm again, we could make our dude pretty good. That's probably why he's so weak right now, just because he has a really trash weapon on. Huh. Good idea to do a few cow runs? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I've not found a lot of good base items just yet, which is why I'm a little bit weak. Don't know why I ended up selling the polearm. I think probably because I was like, well, I'm using Hrothgar. But I didn't realize Hrothgar's debuff would overwrite mine and vice versa. So it kind of didn't make sense to keep him in the party after all.
Thanks.
So we leveled up again. How long does his debuff last? Hey Camillo, welcome back in, and Loco, welcome back in. Yes, we have the Act 2 Mercenary with the Frost or Holy Freeze. You thought for sure I'd be rocking the new PoE 2 patch? You're just waiting for the download to conclude? Much respect for sticking with the schedule. Yeah, I was definitely playing Path of Exile 2 right before this. I was ever so slightly late to stream because I was doing the trial of Sekima and I just barely cleared it in the nick of time. So I was definitely having a blast with that, don't get me wrong. The new patch feels really, really good. Like really good, at least for the build that I was rocking.
I am overburdened.
And I don't really like to say stuff like that super lightly, just because, I don't know, too much overhype can kind of kill impressions of game, I guess.
Thanks.
So it feels good for me to be able to say that the patch feels really good. The sprint mechanic is fantastic. It is a little bit janky, don't get me wrong, but even if for no other reason than having a button to press when you're out of combat, I think it's a really good addition to the game. And there's a bit of risk and reward for using it. Like I've gotten stunned a couple of times already. But even already, I feel a lot more synergies with the builds, even in early game, as a crossbow user, no less. Kind of got lucky, though, because the Bloated Miller dropped a +2 to all skills crossbow for me. So I was like, well, looks like I am going to go crossbow with my Deadeye. I need to identify. So let's go ahead and talk to him.
Greetings.
Holy Freeze chills cold immunes, but some mobs like Hell Death Lords and Dariel don't chill. Okay. Gaining levels helps the Merc not get hit. Get hit less. I understood. Am I under level? I feel like I'm probably on par or maybe ever so slightly under leveled, which would surprise me a bit, to be honest, but I sound like a guy who thinks things through a little bit. I'm about like 50-50. Sometimes I just like to do things on the fly. Well, that's kind of it. Like I'll think things through to begin with, and then I'm fine with kind of adjusting on the fly most times. And with the craziness of this new patch for Path of Exile, it was really hard to plan ahead because we didn't know what all worked, what the passive tree was going to do to things. But anyway, Camilla, what are you thinking about rocking on the new patch if you're about to play it? Camilla said chill is different from frozen for some reason. It makes sense to me. I've played a bunch of ARPGs, so chill like slows things down. Frozen actually stops them. But it is a bit weird to me when some ARPGs don't have like chill going into freeze. Like I feel like once you reach a certain chill threshold, the enemy should get frozen. Unless it's immune. I'm currently level 58 and 59 I just leveled up again. And then the Merc is 58 now. His resistances are 72. Just really need a better item for him. So I do have 2 skills. I was trying to debate on what I wanted to level next. I like to crepify, but it really only increases duration, which is actually pretty useful. Because then I would need to cast it less often. And that kind of effectively becomes a DPS increase of sorts. Lower resist doesn't actually help me. Life tap might be good at keeping my guy alive, but I don't really want to waste that. Should probably respec and get some of these points back. I'm definitely in the range. A few more levels before Ancients might help me out. Okay. I should be around 64. Oh, really? Holy crap. Camilla, you're planning on playing a fire-based melee spell hybrid? Probably a warrior. Well, I hope you enjoy that. I know a lot of people are kind of unhappy with some of the changes to warrior in Path of Exile 2. But to me, it still looks pretty good. I think defensively, it might need some more attention. I don't know. Loco, you usually grind to 70 to 75 a nightmare, depending how strong you are. So I'm a bit low level for the end. Okay. If I'm single player, I would benefit from at least setting players to 3 for grinding spots. Okay. I'm not going to grind just because I'm a little bit curious if I'll be able to, you know, handle this portion of the end game as I am. And then if I feel like I hit a wall, I'll probably grind a bit. And then Mao, welcome back into the stream. Level parity isn't as important for casters? Okay. I think we're good. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I guess I could check the shops. Oh, I could always... Well, that'd be kind of dumb, wouldn't it? I was going to say I could always get a polearm and have Larzuk add sockets to it because I have finished that quest. Doesn't seem like the best use of my quest completion, though. I'm not sure. Probably be better to do it on an armor for either myself or him. But then I run back into the issue of not having like the higher tier rune words to kind of get me over the next hurdle, I think. Save it for a Monarch shield? Okay, maybe I will. I like that you capitalized his name, yeah, Laser. Guess I'll start picking up the rejuvenation potions again. Ah, screw it. Almost every character runs a spirit. I ain't scared of no ghost. Camilla, you played a full 2-hand Titan using break armor to make things explode, cleared the whole screen. Sometimes you feel a lot of the online discourse is really meta-slavish. I definitely agree with that. Like last league, I did something kind of like what Palsteron did with his explosive shot a couple seasons back, where I converted the damage of my explosive shot crossbow skill to doing pure lightning damage with a new pair of gloves last season. And I cleared up to T3 Zesht.
I can't carry anymore.
Without having to spend a ridiculous amount on gear or anything like that. So it's kind of pleasantly... I was kind of pleased with that build, I guess I could say. And this season, the synergies just kind of look better. I was leveling with fragmentation rounds today. And the buffs that they made to the ice burst that it's doing is kind of ridiculous. So I was using the permafrost rounds to freeze things and going into fragment. But even beyond that, the frag rounds skill has a lot of synergies with how you can break armor with armor piercing rounds. And then, oh damn it, the new debuff, oof, he almost died, that you get from high velocity rounds, which doesn't remove armor break anymore. Instead, it gives you like almost like an impale type debuff that works on subsequent hits. So it's really good for pure physical damage. Not able to clear Ubers in 5 seconds equals garbage. Yeah, I think a lot of content creators kind of end up doing the game a bit of harm with how they discuss certain things. Like, I could have continued to refine my build, but I just kind of get burnt out doing the endgame of Path of Exile 2, at least last season. Maybe this season will be a little bit better with having more content and better map modifiers to deal with. I don't know. It's still going to be fundamentally the same, which is a little bit disappointing, but honestly, when we look at everything else that came with the patch, and the dev is kind of just saying we had to do this to get the other stuff out, I think it's completely understandable. What's my damage on Bone Spear? Currently it is 1,000 to 1,067. Randy, it took you 25 years to learn how to play D2R properly. You can't imagine how long it'd take you to learn Path of Exile. If you're curious, I would recommend trying Path of Exile 2 because it's a lot more newer player friendly. And it's almost like the onboarding process of Path of Exile 1 right now. And I don't need to pick this up. It is a free-to-play weekend right now, if you want to give it a try. And my advice for anybody like playing any game is just kind of always go into it blind and see if you enjoy it. And don't feel too stressed about what other people are saying. Oh my goodness, I forgot to put this on. Ooh-wee.
How may I be of help?
Good evening.
Once that aura fell off of them and they came bull rushing me. Scary.
Evening.
Yeah, I think I'll probably keep pumping up Decrepify now. Just to keep that debuff on them a bit longer. because it makes enemies deal less damage. And it slows them down, so it's like probably a 75% damage reduction multiplier if you think about it that way. Mao, you never understood the whole follow the meta thing or even build tutorials? You've always been the type to find things for yourself, how anything works? I tend to be that way as well. The thing is, because some of the Path of Exile interactions are so nebulous, it does kind of take a lot of unironic research to figure things out sometimes. Thought he just died for a second. So there is a reason why people suggest that others follow build guides. Because it is very easy to hit a wall in those games. Meanwhile, I'm literally shooting a wall in this one.
I am overburdened. I can't carry anymore.
Oh yeah, I can put this away. Can you solve those? Oh, this is one of those caves that doesn't have anything. Okay. Just the chest. Hey, Neoncroft, I'm sorry. Welcome into the stream. How you doing tonight? The meta sucks. I wasn't paying attention.
I can't carry anymore.
I'm a little bit of a hipster, so I try to avoid the meta, although it just kind of coincided, at least this season, that Deadeyes and Path of Exile are extremely strong.
Salutations.
Hello.
But I just try to play what I find interesting or fun. And then I'll just kind of keep bashing my head against the wall until I kind of make it viable, if it can be. Which isn't always the case. Hey, Platinum, welcome back in. Camilo said it's pretty accessible, really. People get spooked at the talent tree and all, but if you look at what you have in front with 25 years of D2, you should do reasonably fine. Yeah, that's the other thing that's good to point out as well. A lot of people do get intimidated by the passive tree. But if you look at kind of what's in your immediate vicinity or what you can immediately path to, it becomes a bit more manageable for sure. And there certainly is the risk of analysis paralysis. And if you do feel like that, then it can be helpful to potentially consult a guide or, more preferably, talk to a friend if you need a bit more encouragement, I guess. Randy, you understood? You're just going through CDL training and won't have cash to start rolling for company? Then you might give PoE2 a shot? Okay. Yeah, there is the free weekend now, but I can definitely understand that you might want to avoid potentially getting hooked or feeling like you want to spend the money when you don't really want to spend it. That is totally understandable. Neon said, the fact that your Firebats build in D3 was meta for some time doesn't change the thing that you despise the meta stuff. Fair enough. Fair enough. And yeah, good luck on getting the CDL. And then Luke, welcome back in. Analysis paralysis is notorious in physical health and fitness by non-elite athletes who try to optimize from the start. Oh man, where did I hear this? Oh man, I can't remember where, like, what context I first heard it in to make it be a little bit more applicable to the discussion right now. But sometimes people are worried about like following build guides too closely. It'll make the game get trivialized, which can be true to an extent. But the same kind of thing can be applied to working out, where some people are scared that they're going to become too bulky, and that like prevents them from wanting to try to work out a bit more. As though they're afraid they're going to suddenly become Arnold. But by all means, if you start working out, you will notice long before you get to Arnold levels of bigness to be able to refine what you're working on. Just average people getting bogged down by trying to do everything perfectly. I understand that though, because some of it is just like wanting to min-max and being efficient. I wish people felt that way about their form when they exercised, but the bad thing about stuff like that is you don't know what you don't know. So unless you actually have like a random gym bro to help you out, if you're not using a fitness trainer, then it's kind of easy to not maintain proper form on some things. Some people just like were never taught, and certain things aren't intuitive to everybody. And welcome back in, Stella. If I made a white wand with a +3 base, it'd be 37% more damage. You worked out too much and suddenly no one could understand what you were saying. Oh man, one of my favorite meme videos is this dude that has like a bunch of cue cards written on like a bunch of sheets of paper. So you like take away a cue card and it has like a different part of a sentence and whatnot. It's like the first card that's being held up by him says like, everybody thinks like strong men are dumb, and then he flips down the cue card, but he goes from the opposite side, so it's always just like everybody thinks strong men are dumb. He's doing all these like melodramatic gestures. I mean, it's obviously a bit, but it's just so well executed. You gotta appreciate the self-deprecating humor there.
I need mana.
Hey, Maxima RPG mobile boy, welcome into the stream. Or should I say mobile boy? Poison Nova will carry me through normal nightmare super easy. Well, I mean, I've been going pretty well with just the Bone Spear so far. Because of the limited amount of respecs, I've only respec'd the one time. Most people couldn't financially afford the amount of steroids to be Arnold size. That's true. But I mean, even more than that, it kind of becomes a time commitment to become Arnold size. So that's a huge financial commitment in and of itself if you look at the whole axiom of time being money. How the heck? I skipped the crystal passage. Anyway. The Liver King spends 20 grand a month and he's not Arnold size yet. Yeah, a lot of people... I don't know, like, physiques are different, so... It's certainly unhealthy to want to compare oneself to figures like Arnold if you're a man, or like super skinny supermodels if you're a woman. And then things are just getting so much worse now with like filters on everything. Like, seeing so many random videos when it's super obvious that people have filters on, it's like, why? Like, we could tell this is a filter. Just
anymore.
Look like a person, please. And then it's kind of messed up. Every time I pick up something on the ground when I'm in the midst of combat, it makes me feel like frickin' Leslie Nielsen in Naked Gun when he stops to pick up the quarter on the ground. Or was it a nickel? I don't know.
Good afternoon.
I haven't tried Corpse Explosion yet. I've tried it a little bit, but I mean, I haven't fully built into it. And part of the reason why I don't want to go all in with Corpse Explosion is because it requires corpses, which don't seem to always be around against like the act bosses. Because Bone Spear doesn't feel like I'm having any struggles against like the trash mobs, except for when I'm being a little bit silly and overextending, which is a me issue. Alas. Welcome to the world of Sanctuary. But let's stash our gold. Hey guys, I'm getting more gold again because my dude hasn't died in 10 seconds. It's good to pursue proper knowledge, like I said about form especially, but it's common that people will do nothing over focusing on things that are totally right. Yeah. .99% of the planet lacks proper genetics and drug tolerance to be Arnold. True. Also, like, to be a bodybuilder that big, you kind of literally have to be super tall. And I think that's something that a lot of people overlook, but just general natural physiques. Like, in the new God of War, I was kind of glad that they had Thor be a strong man with, like, a gut. Kind of true to how he's portrayed in Norse mythology, essentially. Rather than being a bit more chiseled like Kratos. Although I think even Kratos tends to be a bit more realistic / achievable. Like, he's got a healthy amount of body fat. So he's definitely a super jacked dude. But, that physique is a lot more attainable. But even still, like, that physique is pretty crazy.
I need mana. Thanks.
Cool. 2 sockets. These dudes picking fights off screen when I'm trying to look back at chat. Okay. Welcome back, Mao. You didn't miss too much. We're just discussing proper form and learning things. Isn't being that ripped like a second job? Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's probably more investment than a normal job time, to be honest, if you're considering it being only 40 hours a week. Because getting that high... getting your physique to that high of a level requires not just going to the gym for a dedicated amount of time. It also takes a lot of time to shop and prepare your food and adjust your budgets for that and being consistent with it, logging things. Then if you like legitimately want to get bodybuilding level, a lot of people are going to use gear because it's just kind of what the culture permeates, which I do not really recommend or condone for the vast majority of people. Because at the end of the day, if you get that jacked, how are you going to wipe your butt? You ever see a bodybuilder get a post-it note put on their back and they can't get it off?
I need mana.
Well, that's the only thing. That's not the only thing that they aren't getting off their body when they have that poor flexibility. Got the Berkeley. I want to leave all these dudes alone for now. Wait, how did I skip the Halls of Pain? Do I even need it? I don't think so. You like that I mentioned proper form? If someone wants to optimize for fitness, biomechanics and form should be the top priority. Oh yeah, absolutely. I took a decent amount of weightlifting classes in college and did the Marine Corps thing, so fitness is pretty important to me. And I've definitely seen my fair share of injuries in others from trying to go too hard too quick and not having their bodies adjust to it as well, which is a little bit of a different issue than form, for sure. But they're kind of related because just not having proper form can lead into these kind of micro issues which get compounded over time.
I need mana.
Says there's a difference between looking strong and actually being strong. Bodybuilder muscles are mostly for show. They don't actually have any strength in them. They have some strength, but yeah, it's a very different kind of a physique, for sure. Because theirs is more about aesthetics and stuff rather than functional strength. Thought I just saw a mana potion. Nope, losing my mind. Stella said that's why all those people have trainers and nutritionists. Yeah. It's worse than a second job. At first, like, I mean, the more you do something, the more you maintain things. Oh, there it was. And it becomes easier over time. A very common phrase in the military is slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Thanks.
Which sounds
I can't carry
oxymoronical, but it is unironically true. Where'd it go, George? Oh, they're ethereal.
I can't carry anymore.
Because when you do things slowly and smoothly, you kind of get acquainted to them, which builds up mastery, and then over time that mastery becomes smoother and smoother until before you know it, it's very fluid and quick. Randy said true for a lot of things. Yes. Big farm boys are powerlifters. Many don't have big, bulky, defined muscles. They do. The thing is, like, a lot of farm boys also just carry a lot of excess weight because they need that kind of energy for sustained exertion. But I'm sure if you had a lot of farm boys do like a proper cut, you could definitely see that they've got a bunch of muscle. Like, the thing about that as well is the muscles that you're going to be doing in like a lot of manual labor aren't like the ones that get focused on for aesthetics. So like if a dude is doing manual labor a lot, he's probably going to have really strong lats and, you know, a strong back and a strong neck. And shoulders, but not necessarily like biceps and pectoral muscles, even though they'll still have like strong chests and cores. But of course, these are all just generalizations, so don't really take it as gospel. I mean, the human body is as different as the individual, so rules are bound to be broken. Luke, you actually published a meta-analysis on this exact subject before you took your specialist PhD course? Oh man, that's awesome. The difference is they usually aren't hyper responders to anabolics and taking them. Muscle maturity is the primary factor here. Yeah, it's so nuanced. I kind of wish I knew more about this subject, but I don't really get like a ton of utility from it, so I just haven't really taken the time to delve in that deeply. So my knowledge is very surface level, I would consider it, but you know, to people who don't work out at all, it doesn't seem that way. I'm hitting the wall. Well, I don't even need to kill that guy. Let's leave him alone. A farm boy who has a crappy diet may have incredible muscle maturity and neural efficiency, whereas a bodybuilder might get his butt kicked and be twice as muscular. Like, I know I don't know the proper terms for this, but doesn't it kind of come down to, not literally speaking here, like muscle density? Like bodybuilders build for mass, which, you know, mass is density in a way, but functionally, you just kind of become more compact because getting bulkier isn't necessarily advantageous for a lot of repetitive movements.
Not enough mana.
Actually, I wonder if a lot of it comes down to the way these muscles are developed, because when you're bodybuilding, you're kind of doing a low amount of reps in a short amount of time, or a very high amount of reps in a kind of moderate amount of time, whereas doing manual labor has a lot more rest between, not sets. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I need to really study that. Luke said, I clearly have an above average handle on what I'm saying. Muscle maturity is roughly speaking density. Okay. Camilla said, that reminds you how the first slap champion was a Slav fat dude that worked in a farm? Oh man, no, dude. If you look at that dude, you could tell he is massive. Like, you could tell that, other than the fact that he was carrying a lot of excess weight, that he was built like a brick house. Like, just his shoulders alone were ridiculous. But just because of all the extra weight, it's not as obvious. And same thing with the arm wrestling dudes, like Devin Lorat. He is a massive dude, but because everybody else is just like super gigantic, he doesn't show off like his muscles as well. But like his muscles are knotted compared to like a lot of dudes' muscles who are just like bulky. I don't know how else to describe it from a visual standpoint, at least. Luke says, bodybuilders can be incredibly strong, and they often are. Sometimes they aren't. It's just such an expansive topic that can't be properly conveyed quickly. Absolutely. Fat is in body shape. You wouldn't mess with that dude unless you had a gun, and even so. Yeah, it probably depends on the caliber, huh? Maybe a trank gun? I mean, the way that you'd mess with a dude like that is with cardio and staying the hell out of the range. If you guys have ever seen the best defense against a knife video that was produced by Navy SEALs, they pan the camera over to the dude with the knife, and then the other dude just runs away. So he's already like half a block away by the time the cameraman turns back. And it's true. Although that's a little bit harder to do if you're trying to outrun a bullet, to be fair. I don't have my aura up.
Not enough mana.
Having too much fun talking about biomechanics to remember to use my bow and aura. Luke said, when you see bodybuilders too, you see people with rarely specific muscle insertion points / locations. Could you elaborate on that? Because I do not follow that at all. Ooh, baby, full rejuves. I need the bottom button to be my oh crap button or something. To have a better system for reviving him immediately. Alright, Camilo, you have a good luck and enjoy the patch. Hopefully the warrior leveling is smooth, which it usually is.
I need mana.
Tusk sword? Oh, duh. My inventory's full. Should probably go sell some things. For example, different people have their bicep tendon muscles insertions attached to the bone at different locations. The result may look like someone has a smaller or bigger bicep. Okay, I think I see what you're saying now. Thank you, sir.
Stay a while and listen.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. Like, the more familiar you are with fitness, the kind of better you can become at evaluating somebody's relative strength from their physique. Which sounds weird and maybe like a little bit degrading, but like when you're in the military, you'll definitely run into people that are a lot stronger and faster than they look like they should be. And you'll definitely also run into people that are a hell of a lot slower and weaker than you think they should be. Which isn't necessarily knocking them. Because I tend to lie in the former camp where I don't look stereotypically strong or fast. But one of my roommates looked kind of like a... I'm trying to think of how to describe him. Kind of like a skinny soccer player, but with a bit more muscle definition. So you'd think like a pretty traditionally preppy kind of build. And so you'd imagine he'd be like extremely fast and stuff like that and pretty strong. But I was actually faster than him and had more strength for a lot of things. And so that's just kind of one of those things that'll come out and surprise you. Let me think. And so, like, once you get more familiar with, like, different body types, sometimes you can just become a bit better at looking beyond the aesthetics of individuals and whatnot. Neural efficiency is such a big factor. As you repeat movement paths, your brain is trained to optimize executing movements with recruiting as little muscle tissue as possible. Yeah, and that's kind of why it's important if you want to like legitimately increase your strength and whatnot, in my opinion at least, to do a variety of exercises and to not overlook calisthenics and range of motion in incorporating that kind of stuff into your workouts, because it feels like such a crazy multiplying factor that I think a lot of people overlook because they focus too much mechanically on just like a couple different exercises, and they'll do those to death. So it's kind of like almost the opposite of being an ocean wide and an inch deep, but it kind of doesn't work. Because okay, I have an ARPG example to make sense of this. So it's like always increasing. Oh, okay, so doing a bunch of different exercises and including like range of motion and calisthenics is like having a more added damage modifier to your damage as opposed to an increase of damage, which is additive. So multiplicative versus additive for a very crude comparison. We need a video game example for you guys, for you dweebs. I mean, since I am playing a video game, an ARPG, may as well have it be topical, right? Redmoon said, endurance is something that can be really seen. Isn't something that can really be seen. Yeah. Hey, Chadwick, how we doing, strength trainers? Oh, you know, we be working on our mental strength right now. How about yourself? Doing exercises that move your body through space is the best. Sometimes limitation is good, unless very specific purposes like figure skating. So I'm assuming when you're saying like moving through space, you mean for lack of a better example right now, like swimming or stuff like that. Because that actually reminds me, one of the things that gets overlooked quite a bit for a lot of runners is working on their upper body to increase their speed. Which might sound unintuitive because you might think if you're running, you're using your legs, which you most certainly are. But a lot of people tend to overlook the mechanical interactions of pumping your arms up and down through the air. And the faster / more efficiently you can do that, and the stronger you are with it, the more kind of propulsive force you can generate to sustain yourself moving forward. Yeah, hello is jokey, but what's going on here? I don't remember exactly how we transitioned to the topic, but like strength and conditioning came up, and we've just been kind of rocking with it for the past 10-20 minutes. I don't know, I'm enjoying myself. I don't really get to talk about this super often. I don't know, but I've kind of always just been a little bit interested in the mechanics of the human body and stuff like that. And so things like fighting, strength training kind of goes hand in hand. So weighted dips, weighted pull-ups, they move your body through space and are compound movements. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Deadlift, squat, bench, overhead press, staples. Redmond said full body movement and contraction tightening is the best. So I don't know if this exercise has a specific name or anything, but this is kind of something that I did, which I felt was extremely crazily effective, which I'm really surprised that I haven't really heard more people talk about it. Does involve doing pull-ups, but it's kind of a bit of a different thing. So this, in my experience, is one of like the best core exercises ever, and you will legitimately feel it, especially if you haven't done it before or you don't have like a super developed core. It's going onto a pull-up bar, getting into like a half pulled up position. So if you have your chin parallel or slightly above the bar, and then doing leg lifts while you're maintaining your position on the pull-up bar. Felt so good and so bad at the same time. But of course, even just kind of holding yourself up on the pull-up bar does take a bit of a work to get that far if you aren't in pretty good shape already. But yeah, I think pull-ups are absolutely fantastic exercises that people should do, which definitely presents a lot of challenges for people who don't do them. And I am a really big proponent of doing assisted weighted pull downs, which you can find in most gyms, because it's actually really good for your back doing pull-ups and stuff and strengthening those kind of muscles. And a lot of people's back problems or joint problems can kind of be corrected a bit with proper exercise. Now, like, not overdoing it, and not making your injuries worse. But, of course, sometimes that kind of thing is a little bit easier said than done. A little bit of a... I don't know. Chadwick, you do a lot of push-ups, pull-ups, and bodyweight squats. That's about it. You're, how do you say, out of shape? Oh, you don't necessarily have to be out of shape, even just doing exercises without any dedicated equipment. Things like burpees, mountain climbers, push-ups like you said you've been doing are all good ways of staying in shape. Jumping jacks, sun gods, if you're trying to work on shoulders and stuff. Planks, even. Leg lifts, sit-ups. Although I'm honestly not that big of a fan of sit-ups or crunches. Hey, we got a 3. Oh, only for druids, though.
Thanks.
Stella, you would not have a good time trying to do that. Yeah, I'm not saying, like, if you're out of shape to just immediately jump into doing something like that. Believe me. Because, the exercise that I described would kick the ass of actual Marines and stuff. And then, for Chadwick specifically, if you do want to get in better shape, you could look into like the 52 card challenge, which I don't remember the specifics of off the top of my head because I never really liked it. Prefer doing other stuff. Or if you look up HIT, H-I-T-T, high intensity training, for kind of some
Not enough mana.
inspiration for your calisthenic needs, that can be useful as well. And then, if anybody else has anything that they'd like to share with the chat, by all means, feel free. Chadwick, you do that, but a static tuck with a contracted neutral pull-up position after doing your last set of pull-ups and chin-ups. Yeah, that's the kind of a way to work yourself into it. Is if you can't do the leg lift portion of it, just even holding yourself in kind of neutral position to start out with, and then working into a tuck and holding that for, 30 seconds at a time, then working out to a minute, and then working in the leg lifts. To me, it's kind of a lot of fun seeing the progress when you initially start working out. Because it's definitely noticeable. But then after a while, if you don't... Oh no. If you don't vary things up, you will hit a peak. I need to pick up... What do you call it? A scroll of potion. Scroll of town portals, whatever. Town portal scrolls? I leveled up. Get a Bowflex? I wouldn't necessarily recommend a Bowflex. I honestly think a lot of people would be better off purchasing an elliptical machine or maybe not so much a bike. The reason why I suggest ellipticals is because, at least for me, they're better on the knees than treadmills. And you could continue to work out in the comfort of your home in super hot weather or super cold weather with an elliptical. Don't have to worry about slipping on ice or getting heat stroke as often or as severely, perhaps. You do it that way. I'm describing something similar to dead hangs. Bro, stop standing in the middle of their projectiles. Do something.
I need mana.
That was the dumbest NPC death so far. Oh, that's right, I don't have any scrolls. I was about to portal out. I'm describing something similar to dead hangs, which are absolutely great for GPP, general physical preparedness. Okay. Luke said barbell rows and pull-ups are important. How is my ice wizard doing for me? Better than Hrothgar? He's okay. I don't know if he's better. I legitimately don't know if he's tankier or less tanky, because it feels like the difficulty of the monsters has finally caught up with me a bit. But he feels less tanky, and that makes him feel worse in some ways, because I was mostly using Hrothgar as a mute shield. But this dude having a slow probably does have a lot of utility. He did have a good moment before he just got stuck on the terrain, though. But then he got stuck on the train and died a very silly death. Redmoon said, if out of shape, start with weights as it'll burn, convert fat into muscle, but there's no replacing aerobics. I would disagree with that. I think first, before going into weights, somebody should... I mean, it depends like what weights you're doing. I would recommend working on cardio, because that's the base on which you'll build everything. But ideally, like, cardio should be incorporating perhaps some elements of weight training as well. I didn't mean to pick up this. Whatever. But yeah, as Luke said, it is a little bit of a misconception that fat kind of goes directly into muscle. So if you work out with weights, I'd recommend doing a very low amount. So that way your body kind of gets used to the fatigue to begin with. And then kind of gradually building up from there. Oh no, I don't have a scroll. How is he not slowed further?
Not enough mana.
Oh my goodness. They're gonna get me. That was scary. All right, Robbie. Sorry to hear about your mood. Hopefully that goes better for you. Take care and good night. Luke said weightlifting and cardio are both crucial for health, and yeah, HIIT is great. It's one tool of an array of options based on preference for what someone is better suited to. Hello, girl. But I guess even before that, I would also stress the importance of the fundamentals of your actual body mechanics, because it's always easy to tell somebody to start running or whatnot, or power walking, but they could actually be doing even that much wrong or with not proper form. Like I was saying the other night on stream, I kind of had to relearn how to run a bit more properly once I got a couple knee injuries, which sounds a lot more dramatic than it was. But most people tend to heel strike while they run for long distances because of the effect of shoes. So if you teach people how to run in such a way that it creates less impact on their body, that'll probably do a lot more good for them in the long term than just saying go out there and do it. But it's not like it's a subject that ever really gets taught how to run and the basic motion mechanics of the body. There it is.
I am overburdened.
Wait, that's right, I don't have any scrolls. Whatever. Run like a deer, balls at the feet. You're just kind of parroting what I said the other night. But no. You actually do kind of want to be on the balls of your feet. And you want to rely on the natural springiness introduced from your Achilles tendon and calves. Or spear. Hold on, we might be in business. Only two. Like a dog with your legs bending backwards? I don't know about that. Estella says, do people not walk on the balls of their feet normally? No, actually they don't. Unless they're barefoot, a lot of people develop the habit of heel striking all the time. And it's pretty bad, especially like the more overweight people get, they tend to rely less on using the balls of their feet and the heel strike, which is why a lot of overweight people tend to have problems with their feet and their joints. Because they're doing it wrong and they don't even know. You agree about the fundamentals of biomechanics by far as a priority? Yeah, and like this, I kind of had to figure out on my own, which is the wildest part. Because I had a knee injury and I was shipping out to MEPS in a couple months. Like, how the hell do I make this work? Because if you go to boot camp, all you're doing is really standing around. There's a lot less running in boot camp than I thought there'd be. But still, couldn't really afford to be falling out of a march or a run or anything like that. Luke said, the primary reason some people think muscle turns into fat is because when muscular people retire or stop working out, they lose muscle tissue and are often accustomed to higher energy demands. So they continue eating the calories they used to need, which leads to losing muscle and gaining new fat. Oh yeah, absolutely. You could, there's so many examples you could point to. Oh snap. Like one that sticks out to me right now, just because he's kind of a standout modern fighter, would be Khabib Nurmagomedov from the UFC and whatnot. As soon as he stopped training, he started gaining weight as he moved into the coaching position. And actually, Khabib is one of like the best examples of having kind of that working musculature, because he doesn't look crazy jacked or anything. He just looks solid as hell, and that's kind of like the one way that I would describe the difference. When somebody looks solid, it just kind of looks different from being jacked. But where the hell am I going? Where did I come from? I thought I came from the top right. No. Well, yeah, I did. Okay, so I'm going to go to the waypoint and buy more portals and sell my stuff and rescue my guy.
Good morning.
Dudes get real comfy eating 2,600 calories per day.
How may I be of help?
It's probably on the low end for people who like work out a lot. Like professional athletes, I mean. What's his name? Didn't the Olympic swimmer dude, didn't he start off his day with like a 5,000 calorie breakfast? Which sounds ridiculous, but when you look at how lean he was, it's kind of hard to argue with that. An Olympic distance swimmer is stupid to compare with, though. I mean, I definitely would say that 5,000 is way more than the vast majority of humans definitely need. But for being that lean, for eating 5,000 calories in the morning alone is kind of crazy. Stella says, sounds like a way to make eating even more expensive. Especially if you're trying to do it cleanly. That's kind of why I was saying that it almost becomes a more intensive than a second job, staying on top of all that stuff. Luke said Khabib probably ate at least 4,000 calories a day, maybe 5 or 6. Chadwick, you're blown away by how expensive it'd be to eat a gram of protein per pound of body weight without just chugging protein powder. Alright, so should I... Can this dude even wear this? I guess I could test. I should revive him.
Afternoon.
So its defense value is garbage, but that's not important right now.
I can't use
Okay,
that.
so he can't use that, so I'll just go ahead and sell this after all. That's right, I can test things before committing to them. If Khabib ate way more, he'd be more jacked, but it'd hurt his fighting specificity. It also goes back to what you said about not worrying about turning into Arnie. Khabib probably can't. No. Like, Khabib isn't really that big of a dude, but he was so ridiculously strong for his weight class. Like, that's one of the reasons why I think he's a really good example to point to. Because he kind of just looks like, I don't want to say like a regular guy, because you could just tell that his muscles are really dense, but he wasn't as, like, aesthetically bulky as other middleweights, like George St. Pierre or... trying to think of, like, really obscenely muscular middleweights. Trying to blank right now, though. He's definitely close to the natural limit, though. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I imagine the cuts that he would... Wait, Frozen Tundra? Okay, so this is explored. So, okay, I need to go to the top right. Yeah, you could definitely tell that he was probably at the bounds of what that weight class could allow. With being as... trying to think of the right way to phrase it. With him being at, like, the proper body weight for his specific body. And that dude was just such a monster for his weight class. Like, just throwing grown men like toddlers. Body shape and previous drug use plays a role. GSP used drugs prior that affect his set points in androgen density.
The resting place of the ancients.
I feel like GSP was probably perfect for his body when he was the lightweight. I always thought it was, like, really weird how much of a nerd he looked like, but he was just kind of a genetic... Maybe I shouldn't say genetic freak, but just, like, how much of a powerhouse he was when he was doing everything. Oh, fudge. You're doing nothing.
Enough mana.
Right, I probably can't look down on Spin to win, even though I have really good melee damage mitigation. Brother turn, thank you. Seeing him spin so slowly is... I forgot to buy... scrolls.
You are worthy. We augment your skill.
We did it. Oh, I leveled up. Cool. Sweet. Yeah, I think leveling this up is kind of useful. Keeps them slowed longer. Red Moon said, the most direct way to lose weight is to not eat. You'll feel hunger, and that's really powerful and hard to ignore, but you'll be fine. It depends how you fast. I mean, you definitely want to stay hydrated and have the proper nutrients going along with it. So you don't necessarily need to eat, but you should still be sure to get proper nutrition with, I don't want to say supplements, but I'm failing to find the right word. Like some way to supplement your diet. Habib was a master of leverage and angles. Oh yeah, absolutely. Chaddock said, if you don't shop like crap, you can't eat like crap. It's true, but therein lies a lot of the problem. It's kind of so silly, at least in the US, how much effort it takes to eat cleanly in terms of prices at the actual store compared to the junk that you can buy, and kind of the time that it would take to invest into eating cleanly as well. Like, there's ways to do it, don't get me wrong, but not everybody wants to eat Soylent chicken smoothies every day, or for every meal of every day. Hey Galamoth, how's it going? Or whatever, you don't know. You can confirm that you adapt to barely eating after a while. You just wouldn't recommend it, yeah. And I think Stevie, welcome on into the stream. Oh, it wasn't a level up but a boon from completing the quest? Thanks. I wasn't paying enough attention. Oh yeah, my bar is already halfway filled, so definitely didn't level up right then. So, I kind of don't want to walk in here, but what do I do? Alright, I'm going to go back to the waypoint. Just to be safe, because I remember getting clapped in that room before. Well, that was against Bale specifically. But anyway, I feel silly for not having bought my portal scrolls like I meant to do. Stella, you highly suggest not starving yourself? Yes, don't starve yourself. Fast fastidiously and do it smartly. I don't know enough about fasting to give advice on that, and I would also highly recommend anybody in the chat to not follow the advice of anybody else, truly for like medical issues, if we want to kind of cover our bases. We can't guarantee that anybody is a medical professional, no matter what they say on the internet, so just be careful with what advice you take. Why is this so weird? No. Chaddock, you'd be thrilled to have a treadmill. You'd happily walk for 2 hours a day. Hey, Global, how's it going? Eat pant? Not sure if you're saying paint, plant, or something else like pant. But nice to see you again. Hold on, let me deal with the dog. Oh yeah, and if you guys don't work out, I do recommend at the very least just kind of stretching every day. And being pretty thorough about it to at least maintain your mobility and whatnot. Luke, you refrain from the convo. Too complex. Low protein intake may have viability for nephrological health and longevity. Low calories for AMP kinase, mTORC1 metabolic pathways, but 1000% agree to not blindly rely on anything from this chat. The internet is really bad about health advice in general, so just want to reiterate that I'm not a health professional. physical trainer or anything in that capacity, so do take what I say with a heavy grain of salt. Get your nutrients, folks. Those Flintstone vitamins. Okay, I did buy portal things, but I almost forgot. Now, from what I understand, apparently vitamins
Good
don't work
afternoon.
like people think they do, which kind of surprised me. Stella, at this point, you're going to say get your health advice from European health institutions? Oh, no. I'd looked at these just a moment ago. Okay. I have no comment there.
The ancient.
But perhaps I will add a small comment and say you might not be wrong. Oh yeah, we don't have Anya yet. I didn't rescue her. Should I rescue her? Perhaps. She's a big girl. I will say, though, that if people are looking to lose weight, one thing which can help with that would be having more liquid introduced to your diet. So one easy way to, I think, alleviate some of your hunger while eating would probably be to drink like a full glass of water before you start eating anything. And then another thing you could do is add, like I was saying, more liquids in the forms of like soups and stews and stuff, because that tends to take up more space in the stomach. I forgot to get my guy. I'm scared. That's a terrible placement. I'm going to get ambushed if I set it up there. Oh my goodness. How did he not get cursed? Maybe he has some resistances against that. I don't know. Maybe I missed. Don't know how that would work. Might have been good that I didn't have the dude. He might have gotten clapped immediately with the possessed dudes.
Besting the ancient.
Forgot to put my money away. Oh, Anya, rescuing her gives us a resistance boost? Okay, very well. That is definitely worth going out of my way to get. Global said in 2013, someone made a birthday cake with a picture of Bart Simpson from memory, and it just says "eat pant" instead of like "eat my shorts."
You have proven yourself.
How may I be of help?
Bart caused a moral panic among the more prudent of American society. Bro, the 90s were a different time. In those prudes' defense, it was before Jerry Springer was a thing. On TV, at least. He existed as a person and a politician at that point, yes. Alright, so where is she? She is in the Crystalline Passage. Luke, in your opinion, no one has the full answer for everyone? It is really weird how people can have such vastly different diets and gain weight on what another person doesn't seem to metabolize at all, and vice versa. And I mean weird in like an awesome kind of way. Just how varied the human body can be. One of the issues with fasting, from my understanding, is that for some people when they finish the fast, they kind of gorge themselves afterward. And that type of binge eating can stretch out the stomach and make them feel less full from appropriately portioned meals. And ironically make continued dieting harder. So fasting can work for some people who don't like eat a lot.
Not enough mana.
But not for other people.
I need mana. Thanks.
Heavenly Stone? Assuming it's for Sork. Yep, okay. Fasting won't charge your crystals? Maybe if you have the fast charger USB-C port. Chaddock, you always wait at least 12 hours between the last thing you eat yesterday and the first thing you eat today. You don't know what sort of damage that's doing to you, but that's just a habit now. I mean, the human body is really resilient. If that's the way that your body functions, there's probably like not real damage that's being done to it because that's just kind of what your body is accustomed to. Like for me, I don't like to eat breakfast because it just, I don't know, like it just kind of feels extra heavy to me than eating meals at different times. So I usually don't eat anything for how many hours? Like at least 3 or 4 hours after I wake up. And if I do feel a bit peckish, I'll probably just have like a cup of coffee, and that kind of suppresses my appetite, to be honest. Welcome back, Mao. In and out a lot tonight. Fasting's a nightmare for many for leading to disordered eating, insulin resistance. Oh yeah, the whole insulin thing is another really important part of that as well. I don't know enough about that to really talk about it, but yeah, like fasting can mess with blood sugars and insulin production. That's kind of like the extent of my knowledge. So don't just like go fast randomly if you haven't done it before and expect it to be like a cure-all. Because you could unironically harm yourself with what's the word? Extreme shifts to your diet and exercise. Which is why I really stress that if you're ever beginning working out and whatnot, to take things extremely slowly, let your body get acclimated to things. And that's even true if you worked out a ton in the past, but just have kind of been inactive for a while. Just take things slow, You'll feel it in your body. Like I would say the first 2 weeks really slowly. That doesn't mean you can't get in like a good workout or anything like that, but you don't want to harm yourself because that'll lead to a bigger setback later on. Maybe I shouldn't say later on, down the line. Luke, you rarely eat to start your day. It's definitely individual based. Yeah, some people I know like just can't function without eating something to begin with. Global said, as you understand, fasting is also a great way to detox the body. Where are these toxins coming from? What are these toxins that people keep talking about? When people talk about toxins, I'm like, did they get bit by a snake? I think a lot of that stuff is super overblown by people whose crystals haven't charged. Like, it really isn't fasting or whatnot that'll fix things. It's just kind of diet in general. Like, if you eat more organic food and less food products and less processed stuff, you will feel it most likely in your body. And I think one of the issues for a lot of people is they don't really know what a baseline should be or feel like. And when you hear people say like, oh, I'm doing this and I have more energy, they might think like, oh my God, like they're hyper, they have all this extra spurt of energy, and not really understand that having more energy doesn't exactly fit that kind of mindset as much as it is like you just kind of don't feel as down throughout the day.
Not enough mana.
But anyway, that was a rant, so let me pause here and look at what you guys are saying. Chadwick, you think about early humans, you've been the same biomachines for 300,000 years at this point, right? Sure, if you want to have a lifespan of like 30 to 40 years. Without horns, you know a person who does intermittent fasting, but he's doing it for vascular health. Seems like it's doing okay for him. Yeah, I mean, if you do things properly, they can definitely be good for individuals. The issue is because a lot of it is so dependent upon the own individual's physiology, it's really hard to kind of give blanket advice, especially for something as risky as fasting, when fasting can interrupt pre-existing health conditions. Like, there is no one-size-fits-all solution to kind of a diet and exercise. Stella says detox is a grifter buzzword in her opinion. Take your colloidal silver. Galama said, wasn't there a group of breathologists or something that similar claimed to subsist on nothing but air? Oh, like, didn't that one girl die? The girl that wanted to be Barbie? Yeah. I mean, they're full of it. Hot air, I guess. Meow says, people who smoke meth have energy. It's not the sign of health people think it is. Global said, detox is the wrong choice of words. Fasting allows your body to process the things in your body if you're not constantly digesting. Perhaps. I mean, it depends, like, what's in your body. I had a friend who was a power lifter who was like, LP. Hold on, let me give a bit more context to the story before I just go into it, because it's going to sound super weird. Regardless, but anyway, this dude was constantly constipated, but he didn't really know it, because he would only go crap like once every 3 or 4 days. Like, bro, what the hell are you doing? He's like, no, man, LP. Me not going pooping at 3 or 4 days just shows that that's my body operating at peak efficiency. Like, no, that's not how the body actually works. You're literally eating a half dozen eggs every morning for breakfast. And beyond that, your diet is crap. So your body's backed up. You're not actually ingesting it all efficiently.
Not enough mana.
Which is ironic because the dude who's not a power lifter is telling the guy who lifts deadlifts 600 pounds that he's doing it wrong. But I mean, he was still doing it wrong. Not his actual deadlifts, but the diet portion at least.
Thanks. Not enough mana.
Hey Jay Rizzle, nice to see you again. Detoxing is definitely a thing. You just need to take enough LSD to trigger it. Okay. Luke says, detox shouldn't be conflated with the potential benefits of long-term fasting, which the science is undetermined on regarding cellular senescence. Detox is what kidneys and liver do for you. Fair enough. Stella said he needs more fiber. He needed a cleaner diet, but yeah, definitely a lot more fiber. That's kind of a misconception, Red Moon, that Americans are fat because of their huge portion sizes and the rest of the world is skinny from their small portion sizes, because it's... If you look at the actual rates of obesity, it's kind of a worldwide problem based on the Western diet, and it's not so much like portion sizes, but the problem with that is it's such a nuanced subject that if it was figured out, we may have already implemented a solution, or maybe not, because, you know, maybe it's not, maybe there isn't enough financial incentive to make that work. Let's do it this way. Damn. Gotta ban a bot again. Luke said, eating that many eggs is genetic for whether it's good or bad for the heart health. You don't have at least hundreds of hours in university graduate level studying in metabolic pathways, mTOR and AMPK specifically. You shouldn't unguided long-term fast. You shouldn't fast long-term without guidance. Okay. Yeah, I think people tend to overlook how dangerous fasting can be. Which is why I really want to emphasize to be careful starting it up. Oh, stop off-screening me, stupid geck. That's right, chat. I called the gloam the Gek. Red Moon says, we only eat 2 to 3 times a day with huge proportions. The rest of the world eats 6 times a day with much smaller portion sizes spread out over many hours. Yeah, there's certainly probably a component, of a culture that leads into things, and for many people, the way that meal times are structured may not be ideal. And then there's other things to consider as well, as like how much work and stress that people undergo and how much of an effect that has on the body. And then, of course, moving beyond that and talking about more meta things relating to stress and whatnot. The more stressed you are, the higher the chance that you might opt to just comfort eat and have a poorer diet as a result, or maybe you don't have the time to have as clean or an effective as a diet as you'd like. And always comes down to time and money. Did I rescue her? Oh no, I just didn't go up the stairs that way. Not stairs, but the bridge.
Hero. Hero. Hero.
Red Moon said food hasn't changed, only portion sizes. That is categorically wrong, bro. The types of nitrates that we put in food can have a huge effect on the body that we don't fully understand yet. Food is way more processed than, like, now than it was in the 90s. And we can't necessarily say that there's a causative relationship between this, but I can't help but
Good afternoon.
reflect on the correlation between the sudden decline in, let's say the sudden increase in obesity rates ever starting since the 90s, and a lot of coincidence with adding more nitrates, corn starches, not cornstarch, what's it called? High fructose corn syrup into the diet, increasing sugar amounts in the diet. So I would definitely say the diets have changed substantially since the 90s.
Good afternoon.
Luke says nitrates are definitely a major ingredient to avoid for heart health.
So,
I know I'm gonna run out of space. We've had fast food for a long time. No one was fat. The fast food itself has changed. If you look at the way that a McDonald's hamburger is processed now versus how it was in the 80s or even earlier, it's completely different. Same thing with like canned foods. Now, I'm not blaming everything on that, but can't help but notice a bit of a correlation between everything. Go! Okay, cool. I can just drop it on the ground. Ah. What the hell do I do with her potion? Just talk to everybody else? Global said America has been seen as a large nation for more than half a century now.
How may I be of help?
Well, I think part of the reason that they were seen as large is post-war, we had a better... Damn it, I need to go talk to her. Okay. How do I use this? Oh. That's weird. Twitch doesn't know how off the game topic YouTube chat gets. Maybe one day I will add third-party tools to have both chats on the screen itself.
Afternoon.
You have thank Neelitha. You stand.
What is this for? Neelithak's temple. Oh, we need to kill Neelithak. I forgot. Have I tried the reimagined mod on single player yet? No, I have not. Buk Choi, probably. Welcome into the stream, by the way. No, this is my very first playthrough, so rather than doing anything modded, I wanted to have the kind of
Good afternoon.
most vanilla experience that I could. Granted, right now I am using the remastered graphics, but at least for the first playthrough, I played the vast majority of the game with the old style. Luke, you're doing some passive charting with the cardiologist beside you. He was nodding as he heard that bit of the convo. Nice. I'm glad to know that we're not so off base. Not the speaker on. Exactly. They took beef tallow out of the fries in the 80s. Coincidence? Perhaps not. Yeah, I don't know enough about like
Hello.
what's changed with food to talk about that directly. Sweet. Okay, now our resistances are way better. Only 3% below on fire. Some less resistance. Oh no, difficulty penalty. Okay, so never mind. I will need to worry about that when I go into hell again. Again, as if I've been. Wait, when did I pick this up? You think I have a great mind for this? No, I mean, it's not so much about the mind as much as it is like I don't like talking out of my ass when I'm not knowledgeable about things. Just to not mislead any other people. So like if anybody does have like any credible information that they want to present to inform either myself or the chat, by all means, I welcome it. The same thing goes for like all of my lore stuff. There's definitely been times where I've also made mistakes on translations, because I do fear that I might have a little bit of dyslexia. And it's pretty easy to make mistakes. We're all human at the end of the day. Which is why I try to cultivate a community that is receptive to each other and tries not to shut other people out of discussions and whatnot, so we can all kind of learn and build from each other. Trying to look for groups of 3. Okay, I think we're good. Wait, these are flawless. Or perfect, rather. So we can put those away. Like, a lot of what I am saying is kind of just parroted from just kind of other stuff. And like, I guess like me thinking about like the fast food stuff and noticing the bit of a correlation between the difference in the way that food is prepared is a little bit of myself with like some other info added on top. But that's also why I'm so hesitant to put it forward. Stella, you don't eat a lot of fast food. It costs money, and half of what you eat anymore is stuff that needs to be taken off the shelf before you leave work. Oh no, Red Moon, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say that oversized portions are not an issue, because they certainly are. And sizes for like fast food and stuff has increased rapidly over the last 35 years. But I think it's a confluence of factors. I wouldn't pin it on any one thing. Also, I heard this a long time ago, but I don't know if it's actually true. Okay, I don't need to be here. I heard that for manufacturers of potato chips, that they took out a primary ingredient, not ingredient, I don't know, nutrient within like the potatoes, or they do something in their manufacturing process to remove something within the product that tells the brain that it's getting full from eating potato chips and whatnot. And to me, that's always kind of sounded like bullcrap, because I'm like, well, if they could take that thing out of these, then why couldn't we put it into other stuff to make super low caloric things that make you feel full as you eat them? So, I don't know. Don't know if you guys have ever heard anything like that either. Does anybody remember Billy the Beef Tallow Boy from Ren and Stimpy? No, I just remembered Powdered Toast Man. I appreciate that, Luke. Didn't the Pentagon feed me for like a solid year? What did they make in your kitchens? Okay, so at boot camp, the meals were actually really, really good. Some of the best that I've had. Then the Marine Corps, beyond that, their food was not great. Can't believe it that the poorest branch does not make a super delicious food, except for in boot camp. But although I say that, I think I had the DFAC that was rated unironically the worst in the entire DoD in Hawaii, of all places. So I didn't eat at the Chow Hall when I was in Hawaii. But beyond that, some of the best chow that I had was on Air Force bases and Army bases. Because they got that money. But the best food experience I had was with the Coast Guard. When I was attached to them briefly. Stella said, is any military food good though? Yes. If you're not stuck in the field eating MREs, there is some good chow. Chair Force has good grub? Shocker? I know, right? Standard suffering in Hawaii doesn't shock you? Yeah, so when I was in Hawaii, I just did not eat at the chow hall. I vividly remember going to a couple of my buddies' barracks room at the end of the day, and they had just come back from getting the to-go stuff from the chow hall. They like took one bite of their burger, and my friend was like, "This sucks." He was just so defeated after having like, you know, a not great day in the military, as can happen from time to time. I don't think it was like particularly bad, but it's just stuff adds up over time. And just having absolute dog food for dinner on top of that, it just sucked. It's like, oh, this sucks. And then I was like, hey guys, you just want to go out to eat off base? And they're like, yeah, I don't want to eat this.
Not enough mana.
I literally ate at that chow hall twice, and they screwed up lettuce in the salad bar.
Not enough mana.
So it definitely sucked to have money taken out of my pocket to have like the rations that are afforded to you at that time, but I was still pretty frugal with my money, and like there was a legitimate like grocery store on the base, so I'd get my food there. Okinawa was better, though. Stella said, ever watch the guy who reviews MREs? I think I've seen, like, part of a clip, but, I mean, I don't really have any particular fondness for MREs or really want to remember them, to be honest. There's a point where I got so sick of MREs from eating them in the field that I just kind of stopped eating the main meals. Because, I don't know, man, MREs just sit so heavily in the stomach. I'll be a little bit graphic here, so I want to give you guys some content warnings. That MREs are known for giving you what are so-called MRE shits, where it's just super compact, and yeah, you kind of don't use the bathroom that way for a couple days because they're just meant to give you your caloric intake of calories, your daily intake of calories, and to sit so that way you're not dealing with diarrhea and whatnot when you're out in a foreign land. So you're not going to the bathroom as often. So I would just tend to eat like the side stuff that came in the MREs, like the dehydrated cranberries. Those were amazing. Like the cheese and crackers. Although the cheese wasn't the best. I don't really recommend it. Like the flatbreads, just like if you avoided the main meal, it just kind of felt a little bit better on the body, at least for me. But I would also like lose a lot of weight in the field as a result. because I would just completely undereat. And only eat when I like really had to.
I need mana.
Stop shooting me! Sometimes he used MREs from 80 to 100 years ago. He ate Civil War hardtack once. I think I heard about that, dude, yeah. Anything sour is good at making you feel full. Lemon is great. Really? I don't know, man. I feel like I could eat lemon meringue pie for days, or lemon pudding. I tend to use lemon as more of like an accentuating part of a dish rather than like a focal point. So let me scroll back up. Potatoes on their own without butter and salt trigger the release of a hormone that tells you that you're full, but potato chips and potatoes are very different animals. You have no clue. Chips are generally super palatable though. Fat and salt equals easy to get lots of. Yeah. I don't think it's a coincidence that the Pringles logo is once you pop, you don't stop. Because, exactly, Red Moon, it's hard to stop eating potato chips. Chadwick, you ate 3 half-fist-sized russet potatoes with a tablespoon of ketchup and a squirt of mustard. You do, in fact, feel full. Oh, no, I'm not talking about, like, legitimate potatoes, but something about, like, potato chips. I heard, like, a long time ago that they took out whatever nutrient makes you feel full from it, which sounded crazy to me. But anecdotally, it almost seems like it'd be true, but it's just, intellectually, I couldn't believe it. Chadwick, you had a housemate in college whose dad was military and sent your boy a huge box of MREs as a quote-unquote care package. Sure. I bet what had happened was that his unit probably had too many MREs from going to the field and not going through them enough. And then the MREs kind of have to get consumed on reports so they can continue to get like the proper allotment of MREs. So you kind of might end up with a backlog, which is strictly supposed to go and be used for military purposes and not be discarded or anything like that, but that could never happen. So who knows, maybe your friend's dad did go out and buy MREs as a show of his care for his son. Stupid Bale, you made me look bad. Hey Nikolai, also known as Bob, welcome into the stream. Highest rune found so far? I don't know off the top of my head. I need to look into my stash, and I also don't know the levels of the runes to give you a direct answer, unfortunately, because I'm still a noob and a scrub at the game. Global, you didn't know they were real food until you saw them in Japantown? SF in your teens? SF San Francisco? I'm not sure. Yeah, MREs are about efficiency and basic nutrition. Yes. I don't think Canadian MREs are drastically different from American ones, but who knows? I was just trolling you, Red Moon, about the lemon meringue pie. Fat, salt, and sugar is hyper palatable. Think candy, chips, cake, etc. Okay. Platinum, you think it was about the MSG in chips? Platinum is the chips? No one wants to eat pure fat, salt, or sugar. That's not addictive. A combo of those two is, though. Gotta get that umami. The funny thing is now, every time I think of the word umami, it just kind of makes another crab's treasure stick out in my mind. Stop shooting me, mold jewel. Hey, we're leveled up. I want to find the stupid waypoints. Kind of annoyed at not being able to really look at chat doing this stuff right now. So many things on the screen. Alright. MSG is not that bad for you, but you can find it in Doritos. I mean, they definitely did a bit of a hit job as far as the marketing of MSG went in the 90s. Treated like the devil. Luke, it's very much a hobby, but you love cooking? I don't know. Like, I kind of hate cooking just because of the time that it goes into making something. Just feels disproportionate to how long it takes to eat it. Especially when you add in, like, cleaning up and everything. Which isn't to say that you can't, like, make really delicious things that are quick and easy, because you certainly can. But, becomes a bit more difficult if you're, you know, trying to eat healthily. And, want to have a bit of variety in the food that you eat. Why do I keep going the long way to talk to Deckard?
Good to see you.
The answer is because I was originally intending to talk to Mala, but then I remembered that my stuff wasn't identified. This is definitely a me issue. Oh, alright, whatever. The MSG scare was nuclear emergency? Oh. You wrote MGS as a joke on purpose. Okay. I thought you typoed global. Red Moon asks, what's the best Metal Gear Solid? You only played the originals on the PS1? I've not played any of them. I mean, I'm not going to count the NES ones, because those are very different beast. So, hold on, let me... spoil the little girl. What was I saying? Global said the best is 3, his favorite is 2. Luke, you love cooking and eating, but you don't like to clean up? You enjoy the experimentation and trial and error of eating, though? Like cooking for your lady and your friends and mom? Doing dishes sucks. The better you cook, the more inclined someone may be to help, though. True. But, then that's also more mouths to feed. If you're already feeding mouths, it kind of is a bit of a wash. Hey, Gigantosaurus. Nice to see you again. How's it going? Luke, you avoid MSG, but you think it's likely the most novel thing in the public nutrition consciousness? Overhyped short-term poor con trends? I'm not sure what you're saying there. I don't necessarily avoid MSG, but I don't go out of my way to like really put it in anything that I make. So if I do have it, it tends to be like if I order Chinese, which I don't do very frequently, like maybe once every couple months. In that case, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, give me that stuff. I should play Titan Quest and Grim Dawn if I like Diablo games. I'm also looking into No Rest for the Wicked. I think I got that when that was on sale recently, and I'm probably going to wait until like their next major update patch. I think they're going to add in multiplayer or something. Not that I really care about multiplayer, but I've been listening to a couple of their dev interviews that they've been doing. It sounds like the game isn't quite where they want it yet, but once it gets in a better state, I think it could be an interesting game to look into. I've only ever heard of Grim Dawn. I haven't really looked into gameplay myself of that yet. But I've been hearing more and more about it. And so I think when I have more time, if I'm not really doing anything like Path of Exile related or Diablo related, I'll probably look into that one a bit more seriously next. If No Rest for the Wicked doesn't get that content update that I'm expecting.
I need mana.
But thanks for the recommendations, and then I'll need to look at chat again to see the other one. Titan Quest. Oh yeah, Titan Quest 2 just came out. Well, the early access for it. Which I heard was pretty good, but it didn't have enough content to keep people happy. So maybe when that one gets fleshed out, I'll check that one out too. Alright, Throne of Destruction. Yeah, I leveled up, I forgot. I meant to do that when I left town. Alright, 7 seconds feels pretty good for a curse debuff, so I might start pumping my skills into other things, whether it be Corpse Explosion or Bone Prison to increase my Bone Spear damage. Okay, Luke, I see what you're saying. Yeah, eggs also had a really bad rap at the time. MSG was getting a lot of flack as well. Because of like what I've seen been a huge shift between like the overall dietary properties of things like eggs and MSG have like such extreme shifts, it makes me really skeptical about like a lot of dietary opinions out there. Global, I should play Metal Gear Solid 2 on stream. That'd be hype. I don't know, man. It's a Kojima game. I really don't have any interest in the Metal Gear Solid games. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, same thing with, like, Resident Evils, Metal Gear Solid. Don't necessarily have anything against them, but they just weren't necessarily things that, damn, I was about to give them the full heal. They weren't necessarily things that interested me. No, I guess I'm kind of lucky that Bale didn't shoot me as I was standing there shooting indiscriminately. Am I enjoying D2? What's my opinion so far? So, I really enjoyed the first playthrough on normal when I was still like getting accustomed to the game and seeing how everything worked. I really liked the art of the original game, like the pixel version that I was using. I would still be with the pixel graphics, except every time I reload in the game, it defaults into this. And so I'm just like, well, whatever. I don't really feel like messing with it so much anymore. So, setting that aside, I like a lot of the music, the environments, like the ambiance of the game. The gameplay is really simplistic, probably because I'm doing a Bone Spear Necro, but I felt a little bit forced into doing that once I got to Diablo and he was one-shotting all of my minions. So I kind of had to play a bit more degeneratively to a degenerative gameplay loop, which I'm not as much of a fan of. I don't really like the itemization because ground loot after a certain point feels like it's worthless, and the things that I really want are relegated to either unique drops or rune word based increases in power. But as a new player, I don't really know them, so I've been kind of been guided a little bit by chat with a lot of resistance from myself to use rune words for certain things, or just increasing my power incrementally that way.
Evening.
Because for first playthrough, I wanted to go in blind, and after I cleared the normal mode, I was like, okay, well, if it's all just kind of like the same stuff and no real mechanics are changing, I'll start like looking things up, because like the actual gameplay loop isn't going to change, just kind of incrementally becoming more familiarized with the systems. So just figured I'd save myself a little bit of time and heartache by looking into it slightly, but not enough that I would become overpowered, so I could still kind of feel like the overall sense of progression going through each zone and whatnot. So I have enjoyed going through the zones and like feeling the enemies get stronger incrementally, but my biggest criticisms are that the bosses just feel so overtuned compared to like the vast majority of content that it almost feels like they're in a completely different game. Like it feels like when I got to Diablo in normal mode that he was like a nightmare mode monster, just kind of chilling in that zone, which I guess would make sense because he was like the original pinnacle boss before Lord of Destruction came out. Alas. I just wish there was a bit more of a sense of progression from the loot as you continue to play. So I'm a little bit spoiled with games like Path of Exile 1 and 2 because how much you can incrementally improve your gear with some of the crafting options they give you. So sorry if that was a little bit wordy to answer your question, but overall, like, it's not a bad experience. But I definitely prefer Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile 1, although I definitely will admit that I don't have the breadth of experience to know that I've given like Diablo 2 as fair a shot as I could, because I've only experienced the game on this one character so far, and things could feel very different if I was on like, I don't know, Barbarian or Sorcerer or something. Redmoon said, D1 is a near perfect game. D2 is fun with others, but otherwise it's a grind farm fest for drops. Hey, Loco, how'd the Ancients go? It went actually pretty well. I could have kept Zanarhi alive, but I accidentally didn't. So I just kited the dudes around and then beat them without having to portal out, which felt pretty good. I think that was a little bit smoother than when I did it the first time around, surprisingly enough. D1's near perfect with all spells being friendly fire. I think friendly fire is pretty funny. That could make things more interesting, or, you know, just invite a lot of griefing. But pork no lost us. The one big thing that I really miss from the Path of Exile games right now is having the ability to pause the game. So that way when my dog is being a goofball, I can divert my attention without getting scraped. So yeah, for me, as a Necro main, I wish that the minions felt a little bit more viable. But some of that was also definitely due to my lack of knowledge of the game and not investing into summon resistances. Because the game didn't prepare me to invest in summon resistances, if that makes sense. When Diablo was one-shotting them.
I need mana. Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't need these anymore. They should add Blood Knight to the class, as a class in future Diablo games. Isn't that just a Death Knight with extra steps? Legend Sword. Nikolai, in the console you can pause if you go to the save and exit screen. Oh, I guess that technically would work, but no, the enemies respawn then. Or is there like a... There might be a confirmation prompt, and that might work. But yeah, all that being said, I do think that the console controls are surprisingly good. D1 has 3 to 5 shrines that can permanently wreck your character's max mana and HP, and you don't know until you know? Wait, what? That's funny. You don't hit save and exit, you just save and exit, you just go to the screen that has the option. Okay, that makes sense.
I need mana.
Yeah, I'm surprised he survived that. Good for him. I have to stutter step as I do inventory management because of bail. Blood Spec, Death Knight, but your character's an actual vampire. Turning friendly fire on and Gauntlet as a clown show. Gauntlet is a different beast altogether. Friendly fire isn't a big deal so long as there's no sorcerer. Yeah, man, you just picked a class, which means you have to play the game solo. Sucks to suck. Some shrines permanently lower max mana or HP. Your buddy played for a long time and is confused why he only had 2 mana. You had to break the news that he had to start over? Oh, wow. That's brutal. Alright, cool. So I think we've cleared out all of the trash, so if I need to start roaming, I can. Should have picked up that potion. Save myself like a 200 gold investment. Oh, nope, I did not clear out all the trash, as it turns out.
Not enough mana.
Thanks.
Let's put this back over here to be safe.
Good day.
D2 final bosses, Diablo, right? Not exactly.
How
At
may
least for the base game, yes, but they added DLC, so he wasn't. So kind of yes, but mostly no. Why'd I put it over here? I might need more potions than this, to be honest. Oh yeah, because there's a lot of waves. I'm definitely going to need more potions, aren't I? Hell will be fun to watch, hopefully. Isn't there an orc mob near the end of D1 which can permanently reduce max HP by 1 per hit? That's messed up. You think I'll find Hell mode the most balanced for overall mob difficulty? Interesting. Galamoth said, how many primevals are there? 3 or 4? At least in this game, they say there's 3. I wouldn't be surprised if they added more or retconned some things later, but I don't know about those. Nikolai, you got a bear and a jaw in the past 4 to 6 hours of gameplay? Damn, that's pretty great. I know enough to know that bear and jaw, I think, are part of what, Enigma? Oh yeah, weren't you asking what my highest tier rune was? I don't know. I'd have to look. I don't know what's higher. Tier or Shale or Io. I think Io would be 35. Don't feel like I found anything higher. Oh, wait, what is this? Pool. Oh yeah, I picked up 1 pool. So I need to get like an or something. Luke, you got 2 champs before you ever got a bear or jaw. Took you several years. Oh, wow. Diablo, Lord of Maths. So Chadwick, that kind of reminded me, there's a pretty infamous video of like the worst guide to Path of Exile. And it kind of starts off with a joke that's like, these game creators were sitting alone in their rooms one day when they came up with a question. What if there was a skill check to math? And then it just kind of goes off on its spiel. It's a very silly video. Even if you don't play Path of Exile, it might be pretty funny. I shall wish me luck. Not a war fork. Maybe I could put this on my dude.
I need mana.
My dude died. You may have lied about wishing me luck. I don't need that yet. Jawmon. No.
Good to see you.
Afternoon.
Hello.
At least that shield was worth a lot. Nikolai, you built 3 level 99 characters and never found a jaw? That's wild. The primary console cons are the speed of inventory management, speed of menu navigation, and the area effect spell / teleport spell, but it all works pretty darn good with a controller. Yeah, I do think it probably worked out that I went with Necro because of the Bone Spear. I thought Necro would be good for controller because the minions do a lot of the work, but then I abandoned the minion build, so... Rip the dream. Get out of the wall. Stop cursing me. It's annoying how he doesn't have the courtesy to move out of enemy attacks.
I need mana.
Oh no. Get over here.
I need mana. I can't use this yet. I can't use this yet. I need mana.
They can't hit me if they can't get me. Oh, he died. I'm going died.
Not enough mana.
There might be another wave after these. I don't remember. I thought we had bigger dudes than these guys to worry about. Let's just go back and get our guy. Rearrange our stuff. Oof. On the PS4, the load screens are horrible with Diablo 2. Oh, that sucks. I'm on the PS5, so it's not so bad.
Hello. Yes?
The lesser evils are Andariel, Duriel, Belial, and Asmodan. Minions can work, but yeah, they do get weaker as you get further into the game, and Diablo especially usually wrecks them. Yeah, I didn't know how bad my minions' resistances were until he was the only thing that just one-shot them. So that's kind of a rude awakening, a rude wake-up call. Chadwick, you think it's funny how seriously people get into Diablo's lore when Dave Brevik was specifically like, I don't care all about all this story and character stuff. I want to play the game. You want to see how fast it is on the PS5? Can I time it? Sure. Let's see. Let me get out my clock, essentially. Now, less than 1 second to go from one zone to the next, but after I clear out this area, I could try between the main menu and whatnot. Oh, he's gonna die. And he died. Stop. There we go. Is that it, or is there more? Oh god. Yeah, these are what I was worried about. We don't exist if we're off screen. When I load in from the main menu? Okay, cool. Once I clear this section out, we'll do a test. IO is the highest tier rune that you'd find in Nightmare without farming? Okay. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh well, if I forgot, it can't be important. Hold on, was it low, not IO? Oh, that was a lowercase L? I thought it was a capital I. I mean, it looks the same with the YouTube font, so rip. Okay, so when Marius realizes Diablo tricked him, he's just chanting for a low rune. Got it.
Not enough mana. I can't use this yet. Thanks.
Those dudes got slowed. Okay. So he should have... he did not leave.
Not enough mana. Thanks. I need mana. I can't use that. I can't use that.
Stop hitting me!
I need mana. Thanks.
Yeah, I was worried about these Deathclaw dudes. Each is like a mini Diablo.
I can't carry anymore.
We might not be done yet. It's possible to get items or buy them from the shop that have charges for other classes. It can be very helpful in Hell. I do know you can get things with charges on them. I just don't know what would be good from other classes to even use, I guess. But I'll try to keep that in mind. You just said, see you, sucker.
I can't carry anymore. I can't carry anymore.
It's time to warp out and regroup.
Stay a while and listen.
Good evening.
Why is it? Because there are different types. Teleport charges? Makes sense. Red Moon, you like to make fun of things with the lore of them? Why not use Bone Spirit for single target? You're pretty sure it has more damage? Because I will use that on bosses, I don't use it on like the packs of mobs because Bone Spear has piercing, and I didn't think about it at that point when I got like the last 2 there. But yeah, that's what I try to do. Here goes something.
So this is what the ancients guard.
Wasn't there other minions here? Did he spawn them in halfway through? Well, I don't need... Okay. I don't need to worry about certain things.
I need mana. Not enough mana. I need mana. Not enough mana.
Thanks.
I'm out of heals. Easy.
I am overburdened.
Hello.
I am overburdened. I can't carry anymore.
Curse you, Bale. Exactly. Thanks for the well done. And the congrats. Appreciate that, guys. How many keys do I need? 2. World got saved again. Don't worry, they'll invade again. I was gonna say saved. It sounds like it's getting broken. Bloodmore in the Den of Evil.
If Tyrael says the World Stone must be destroyed, then it must.
Only for Pallies. That's actually not that good. I just saw a lot of words, a lot of text, and I thought we were in the clear.
How may I be of help?
Oh my goodness, that is a heck of a lot of defense. I could give that to the dude. Bloodrise Morning Star. Doesn't seem that useful, unfortunately. $175 versus $481.
I'll put that to good use.
Hey, thanks, Luke. Bale screwed the world for the rest of the franchise. Oh, really? I was wondering if there is something different that happens once you clear hell. I don't actually want an answer for that. I should have said that to begin with. But anyway, let's witness destruction's end, everybody. Hey, congratulations, LP. Will henceforth be known as a champion, LP. And it's really hard to read this text. I misread that like a kindergartner. Congratulations, LP will henceforth be known as champion, LP. We're champions now. Okay, so we had... I'm sorry, I'm really bad at names. Nikolai, also known as Bob, asking to see the time between the main screen and the gameplay on PS5. So I will start that now. A little bit less than 5 seconds. And a little bit more than 4. Yeah, I wouldn't agree that fear is the basis of hatred, because
Good day.
definitely feel like the more you get to know something, the more you can come to hate it.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm going to keep that, at least for now. I do really like this armor for the poison resistance and whatnot. But just that faster run and cast speed is hard to compete with. It's 38 seconds on the PS4? Oh god, bro.
The ancients themselves will envy our songs about you. Please.
That's rough, man. So, okay, folks, I think this is a good spot to stop. Tomorrow we can begin with Hell Mode, and I'll probably go back to Nightmare at some point and try the cow level on this difficulty to get better gear. So, right, we'll begin the stream at the normal time of 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully I'll catch you all on the next one. Till then, take care, stay safe. Last Protagonist out.